Welcome back. If you think walking alone is enough to stay healthy after 50, today's video might surprise you. What if doing more squats is not making your legs stronger after 50, but quietly making them feel less stable? For years, squats have been treated like the ultimate lower body exercise. But as the body ages, the movement that once built strength can sometimes become the very thing that increases discomfort, hesitation, and joint stress. The first main idea in this content challenges one of the most common beliefs in fitness, that squats are always the best exercise for stronger legs. According to the file, that is not necessarily true after 50. Research mentioned in the content explains that certain squat positions can place compressive forces on the knee joint that are several times greater than body weight. While younger, well-conditioned joints may tolerate that load more easily, aging joints often respond differently, especially when muscle support around the hips, thighs, and lower legs has gradually weakened over time. What makes this point so important is that the problem is not only pain, it is what happens next. When squats begin to feel uncomfortable, many people do not keep moving with confidence. Instead, they start avoiding movement, doing less, and becoming more cautious in daily life. Over time, that can lead to weaker muscles, poorer balance, and more hesitation during simple activities like standing up, walking, or climbing stairs. In other words, the wrong kind of exercise can quietly reduce confidence instead of building it. So the message is not that movement is bad, or that squats must be abandoned forever. The real message is that after 50, the body may need a smarter and more joint-friendly approach. Stronger legs are still possible, but they may come not from pushing harder, but from moving more wisely. And once we understand that traditional squats may not always serve the aging body well, the next idea becomes even more important. After 50, strength alone is no longer enough. This connects naturally to the first point, because the issue is not simply whether an exercise feels hard or easy. According to the content, the body now needs a smarter combination of muscle activation, joint stability, and movement control. In other words, building stronger legs is no longer just about pushing through repetitions. It is about teaching the body to move in a way that protects the joints while still improving strength, balance, and confidence. That is exactly why the video explains that these exercises were selected so carefully. They are not random replacements for squats. Each one has a specific purpose. Some target the front of the thighs to help stabilize the knees during walking and standing. Others activate the hips and glutes, which can reduce how much stress is placed directly on the knees. The lower legs are trained too, because they play a critical role in balance and fall prevention. What makes this sequence especially powerful is that all of these parts work together. Instead of overloading one area, the routine rebuilds the entire lower body from the ground up in a more joint-friendly way. So this second idea builds perfectly on the first. If ordinary squats can sometimes create problems, then the answer is not to stop training the legs. The answer is to train them more intelligently. And if this message speaks to you, subscribe for more practical, healthy aging fitness guidance, and leave a comment below sharing your age or which part of your legs feels weakest right now. Your comment may help inspire someone else to start training smarter too. And once we understand that smarter leg training must begin from the ground up, the next step is to focus on one of the most overlooked muscles in the entire lower body, the tibialis anterior. This is exactly why the third idea connects so naturally to the second. If the goal is not just raw strength, but better joint stability, balance, and movement control, then it makes sense to begin with the muscle that helps lift the foot safely with every step. According to the content, tibialis raises target the front of the lower leg, an area many people never train directly, even though it plays a major role in walking mechanics and fall prevention. What makes this exercise so important is that weakness here can quietly affect everyday confidence. When the tibialis anterior is not strong enough, the foot may not clear the ground as well during walking, which increases the risk of tripping. The file explains that stronger lower legs can improve walking mechanics and reduce the risk of falls in older adults. That means this movement is not just about building muscle in a small area. It is about making each step more stable, controlled, and secure. In a very real way, it helps restore trust in your own movement. The exercise itself is simple but effective. The content recommends standing with your back lightly supported against a wall, placing your feet a short distance away, and then lifting the front of your feet while keeping the heels planted. Holding briefly at the top and lowering slowly with control is emphasized as the key. So this third idea builds perfectly on the second. Once we stop thinking only about thigh strength and begin training the lower legs as well, the body starts developing the kind of balance and stability that truly supports confident movement after 50. And once the lower legs begin to grow stronger through tibialis raises, the next step is to build support higher up in the chain, especially around the knees. This is exactly why the fourth idea connects so naturally to the third. It is not enough for the feet and ankles to become more stable if the thighs still fatigue easily during standing, walking, or climbing stairs. That is where the wall sit becomes so valuable. According to the content, this exercise may look simple, but it is one of the most effective ways to strengthen the quadriceps without placing unnecessary strain on the knees. Because it is an isometric exercise, the muscles work hard while the joints remain relatively stable, which makes it especially joint-friendly for adults over 50. This matters because the quadriceps play a major role in supporting the knee during everyday movement. When those muscles are weak, standing up, walking, and going upstairs can start to feel less secure. The file explains that stronger quadriceps improve not only muscular endurance, but also joint stability. And when stability improves, confidence often improves with it. That is an important point because many adults do not just lose strength with age, they also lose trust in their body. A movement like the wall sit helps rebuild both at the same time. The exercise is performed by standing with the back flat against a wall, stepping the feet slightly forward, and slowly sliding down into a shallow seated position, only as low as feels comfortable. The content emphasizes that this does not need to be a deep squat to be effective. Holding the position for 10 to 20 seconds and repeating for 3 to 5 rounds allows the legs to strengthen safely over time. So this fourth idea builds perfectly on the third. Tibialis raises improve stability from the lower leg, and wall sits add the knee support and endurance needed to turn that stability into stronger, more confident movement. And once the knees begin receiving better support through wall sits, the next step is to address the muscle group that often changes everything, the glutes. This is exactly why the fifth idea connects so naturally to the fourth. It is not enough to strengthen the front of the thighs if the hips and glutes are still weak, because when those larger muscles fail to do their job, the knees often end up absorbing more stress than they should. According to the content, the heel drive glute bridge was chosen for this reason. It helps shift more of the workload toward the glutes and hamstrings, which can reduce direct strain on the knees and improve lower body alignment during movement. This matters because the glutes are the largest and most powerful muscles in the body, yet they are often underactive, especially in adults who sit a lot or have become less active over time. The file explains that stronger hips and glutes can significantly reduce knee stress. That makes this exercise more than just a simple bridge. It becomes a way of redistributing force more intelligently through the body. Instead of asking the knees to do too much, the movement teaches the hips to contribute more, which often makes walking, standing, and changing direction feel smoother and more supported. The exercise is performed by lying on the back with the knees bent and feet flat, then gently lifting the toes so the heels stay grounded. From there, the hips are raised slowly while focusing on squeezing the glutes rather than pushing through the lower back. The content emphasizes holding briefly at the top and lowering with control. So this fifth idea builds perfectly on the fourth. Wall sits strengthen the thighs and support the knees, while the heel drive glute bridge teaches the hips to share the load, creating a stronger and more joint-friendly lower body overall. And once the hips and glutes begin doing their job through the heel drive glute bridge, the next step is to train the body in a way that feels even more like real life. This is exactly why the sixth idea connects so naturally to the fifth. Strength built on the floor is important, but it becomes even more useful when the body learns how to apply that strength while standing, stepping, and regaining balance. That is where step-back lunges become so valuable. According to the content, this variation is especially joint-friendly because stepping backward changes the mechanics of the movement, reducing excessive forward pressure on the front knee and allowing the hips and glutes to take on more of the work. This matters because many adults over 50 need more than just muscle strength. They need control while changing direction, stepping backward, and recovering balance in everyday life. The file explains that step-back lunges closely mirror real-world movement patterns, which makes them highly practical for maintaining independence and confidence. Instead of forcing the knees to absorb sudden load, the movement teaches the lower body to stay aligned and controlled. Stronger hips help guide the leg, protect the knee, and create a more stable base. In that sense, this exercise does not just strengthen the legs, it teaches the body how to move safely in motion. The movement itself is simple but intentional. Stand tall, step one foot back gently, lower with control, keep the chest lifted, and press through the front heel to return to standing. So this sixth idea builds perfectly on the fifth. Once the glutes are activated, step-back lunges teach the body how to use that strength dynamically. If this message encouraged you, subscribe for more practical senior wellness guidance, and leave a comment below sharing which of these exercises you want to try first. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to get started. And once the body learns how to move dynamically through step-back lunges, the next idea brings the entire message full circle. The squat itself is not the enemy. This is exactly why the seventh point connects so naturally to the sixth. After strengthening the lower legs, supporting the knees, activating the glutes, and training real-life movement patterns, the body becomes much better prepared for a smarter version of the squat. According to the content, that version is the heel-elevated squat, and it is presented as the real game-changer of the routine. Rather than forcing the body into a traditional squat pattern that may feel uncomfortable, this variation changes the mechanics in a way that makes the movement more supportive and more effective for many adults over 50. What makes this variation so important is that slightly elevating the heels allows the torso to stay more upright and directs more of the work into the quadriceps, the muscles that help stabilize the knees during daily tasks like standing up and climbing stairs. In other words, this is not about making squats harder. It is about making them more appropriate for the body you have now. The file emphasizes that even a small range of motion can be highly effective when it is performed slowly, with control, and with proper alignment. That message is powerful because it changes the goal from go deeper to move better. So this seventh idea builds perfectly on the sixth. Step-back lunges teach the body to move with control, and heel-elevated squats turn that control into practical strength for everyday life. The bigger lesson is clear. After 50, success does not come from avoiding movement altogether. It comes from learning how to move in a way that supports your joints, strengthens your muscles, and restores confidence one repetition at a time. And once the heel-elevated squat changes the way you think about lower body training, the next idea becomes even more important. These exercises are most powerful because they work together as a system. This connects naturally to the previous point because the goal is no longer to search for one perfect movement. Instead, it is to rebuild the entire foundation of the lower body in the right order. According to the content, these 5 exercises are not random at all. Each one was selected to strengthen a different link in the chain, so the body becomes more stable, more coordinated, and more confident from the ground up. That is what makes this routine so effective after 50. Tibialis raises strengthen the front of the lower legs and improve foot control. Wall sits build quadriceps endurance and support the knees. Heel drive glute bridges activate the glutes and hamstrings so the hips can share more of the load. Step back lunges train balance, coordination, and controlled movement in a standing position. And finally, heel elevated squats bring everything together into a more supported squat pattern that feels practical for real life. In other words, each exercise prepares the body for the next one. The result is not just stronger muscles, but better movement quality overall. So this 8th idea follows perfectly from the 7th. The heel elevated squat may feel like the breakthrough moment, but it works so well because the body has already been prepared by the movements before it. That is the larger message of the video. Real progress does not come from forcing one hard exercise. It comes from training the body intelligently, one layer at a time, until strength, balance, and confidence begin to rise together. And once we understand that these 5 movements work best as a complete system, the next idea becomes the one that makes the whole routine realistic. Consistency matters more than intensity. This connects naturally to the previous point, because even the smartest exercise sequence will not change the body unless it is practiced often enough for the muscles, joints, and nervous system to adapt. According to the content, the real key to stronger and more stable legs after 50 is not doing exhausting workouts. It is following a simple, sustainable routine 3 to 4 times per week. In fact, the file emphasizes that the entire sequence can be completed in just 10 to 15 minutes, which makes it much easier to stay consistent over time. What makes this message so powerful is that it removes the pressure to do too much. The recommended structure is clear and manageable. Start with heel-elevated squats for 8 to 10 controlled repetitions, then move into wall sits for 10 to 20 seconds across 3 rounds. After that, come step-back lunges for 6 to 8 repetitions on each leg, followed by heel-drive glute bridges for 10 to 12 repetitions. And finally, tibialis raises for 10 to 12 slow, controlled reps. The content encourages moving at a steady pace, focusing on breathing and resting when needed. In other words, progress is not about pushing harder and harder. It is about doing the right things often enough that the body begins to trust, strengthen, and support itself again. So this 9th idea builds perfectly on the 8th. Once the body has the right sequence, the missing ingredient is repetition over time. That is how better balance, stronger legs, and greater confidence are built after 50. Not through intensity, but through steady, intelligent practice. And once consistency becomes the focus, the final message of the content comes through with real clarity. Growing older does not mean becoming weaker. It means learning to train more wisely. This idea flows naturally from everything that came before, because once we understand that traditional squats may not always be the best choice, that the body needs joint-friendly strength, and that progress comes from the right sequence practiced regularly, the bigger truth becomes impossible to miss. According to the file, the goal is not to force the body through pain or chase extreme workouts. The goal is to use movement in a way that respects the joints, strengthens the muscles, and supports long-term independence. That is what makes the ending of this message so encouraging. It reminds people over 50 that the body is still capable of change. Research referenced in the content from the National Institute on Aging says that adults in their 60s, 70s, and beyond can continue improving muscle function and mobility when they follow regular, appropriate exercise. In other words, strength is not reserved for the young. It is still available to anyone willing to move with more intention and awareness. That means every repetition in this routine matters. Every wall sit, every glute bridge, every controlled squat, and every small improvement in balance is a step toward walking more confidently, standing more easily, and staying active with the people you love. So this 10th idea brings the whole message together beautifully. You do not need to punish your body to make it stronger. You need a smarter approach, one that works with your body instead of against it. If this message encouraged you, subscribe for more practical healthy aging fitness guidance, and leave a comment below sharing which of these 5 exercises you want to start with first. Your comment may be exactly what inspires someone else to take that first step too.